Welcome to the Idea Leaders Self-Learning series on the co-creation of virtual learning accessibility. This video is about how to look for support resources and potential solutions related to accessibility of virtual teaching and learning. Introduction. How would you look for relevant support resources for accessibility practices or solutions to inaccessible virtual teaching and learning? Ask students. Ask colleagues. Perform an internet search. Seek help from NGOs. Seek help from university units. Consult academic papers. Take training courses. Use other methods not mentioned here. In the following sections, we will briefly go through a number of potential methods and share practical tips on finding relevant support resources for accessibility practices or solutions to remedy inaccessible virtual teaching and learning. We hope that this brief introduction will help you select the appropriate methods that match your needs and situations. As an overview, the introduction mainly covers the following methods: user experience sharing, internet searches, RSS feeds, and email newsletters, the university's internal resources, self-learning databases and training courses, actual testing, and local community resources. User experience sharing, which may include the following examples of approaches: learning from experience, sharing, and advice from colleagues and peers, and communicating with students. User experience sharing can be regarded as a direct and handy solution. Every individual has unique needs. Users are the experts on their accessibility needs. Whenever possible, it would be good to seek the experiences and advice of students who require accessibility arrangements regarding potential solutions. For example, regular screen reader users are more familiar with how screen readers work. They can provide practical feedback on the extent and seriousness of potential inaccessibility issues involving the use of teaching materials such as PowerPoint slides for lecture notes. We should not make any decisions on behalf of students or assume their feelings or needs. However, note that some people, such as people with temporary impairments, may be unaware of their needs, certain accessibility solutions, or how to configure and use certain accessibility features. We should always work out the required and reasonable accessibility support and accommodations together with the students or staff concerned, respecting their individual needs and diversity. We should avoid expecting people with disabilities to adapt to the barriers they encounter in the environment. We should also avoid putting ourselves on unequal footing through helping behavior or a love and caring approach to accessibility arrangements. Internet searches. Internet searches can be very useful and efficient way to get information. For example, using a search engine such as Google, we can look for official information about the accessibility of our e-learning tools or assistive tools. Information and discussion about user experiences, the pros and cons of the tools from an accessibility point of view, or recommended solutions or workarounds, or any complaints about accessibility issues, or other general discussion regarding the accessibility of software or websites online. Video searches through YouTube or other sources may point us to many online videos demonstrating step-by-step procedures, or elaborating different issues, such as the steps in creating accessible materials. All of these results may give you the exact solutions or information you are looking for, or they could give you more concrete ideas, act as the starting point for further search, or prompt discussion with students and colleagues. So now you may wonder, what sort of keywords should we use to effectively obtain as much relevant information as possible? There may not be a 100% effective rule, but we would like to share some tips based on our team's practical experiences. It is quite common to encounter the following terms in society and even in university resources: SEN, which is short for special educational needs, special needs, special arrangements, or terms in Chinese such as
特殊教育需要
a commonly used Chinese translation of special educational needs, and
無障礙
a commonly used Chinese translation of barrier-free. These terms may be frequently used for online search, but they may or may not return results that are relevant to the accessibility of virtual teaching and learning. We would like to share other potential keywords, along with combinations of keywords and operators, to refine your online search. We may try some keywords that are more specific, such as pie chart accessibility or accessible math, higher education. From these two simple examples, you may notice that we use a combination of keywords and operators to refine the online search. Pie chart and math are keywords that are relevant to teaching and learning. Accessibility and accessible are obviously keywords related to disability and accessibility. And the use of quotation marks for higher education is a kind of operator that requires the results to include the exact wording, higher education, rather than higher or education separately. Under each keyword category, you may think of different terms based on your needs and issues. For keywords relevant to teaching and learning, potential terms may come from the subject matter, the names of teaching and learning materials, and the names of e-learning tools, as well as the terms higher education, college, and university. For keywords relevant to disability and accessibility, the potential terms could be accessibility, disability, names of the specific disability conditions, names of the specific features requiring accessibility, and the names of the specific assistive technologies. Examples of search operators are Boolean operators, truncation symbols, wildcard symbols, and operators, such as quotation marks. These operators are very useful to help you refine your search and obtain more relevant results. You may refer to the guidelines of the search engine or related self-learning materials published by your university library. After getting your search results, the next issue is how to differentiate reliable sources. It could be quite difficult to determine how reliable a source is. There may be no definite answer. Always take the context into consideration. Use your own best judgment. Based on our experience, whenever possible, in general, we prefer the following sources. Information provided by the vendors of e-learning tools, user experience sharing, well-known organizations working on digital accessibility, such as the World Wide Web Consortium W3C, advocacy groups and NGOs, government units related to digital accessibility, and university IT, or accessibility support units. RSS feeds and email newsletters can be very useful and efficient way to get information. RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication. You may try finding the orange button for RSS feed on the website. RSS feeds is a way of notifying users when the content of a website or multiple websites is updated. Consider subscribing to RSS feeds. Subscribing to RSS feeds allows you to stay up to date with the websites of interest, such as those related to education technological accessibility, without having to go from one site to another. Sometimes, you may also consider subscribing to email newsletters for the latest updates from NGO and accessibility advocacy organizations. The university's internal resources, including the university website's search engine, advice from other university units, participation in university events that promote accessibility awareness, and mass mails. If you would like to mainly look for resources within the university, you can use the search engine on the university website. In general, the search results would be restricted to results that are truly affiliated with the university. The screenshot on the screen now shows the results page based on the search using disability and accessibility as the keywords in the search engine on the website of the University of Hong Kong. This could be a starting point to learn more about any relevant resources and information available from different units of the university. The following are some examples at the University of Hong Kong for reference. The first two results bring us the website of the Center of Development and Resources for Students, CEDARS. From CEDARS website, we can obtain a range of information, support services, assistive devices and software that are available for loan, and some other resources that are relevant to supporting students with disabilities at HKU. From CEDA's website, we also found that CEDA's has published a guidebook entitled Removing Barriers, Joint Care Guide on SEN or Disability Support. This guidebook serves as a quick reference for HKU members to understand more about disability and the support available for students with disabilities at HKU. For example, Chapter 3.14 includes tips on how staff members can facilitate the online learning of students with specific types of disabilities, or SEN. Chapter 3.6 is about how faculty SEN contact persons can help students with SEN and course teachers. According to the guidebook, there is one SEN contact person in each faculty. The roles of the contact person include the following: receive student information and relevant recommendation letters issued by SEN support on behalf of the faculty, disseminate student information or recommendation letters to relevant staff on a need-to-know basis, facilitate the implementation of reasonable accommodations or adjustments, and be the first contact point in the faculty to liaise with SEN support on matters related to students with disabilities, or SEN. The third and fourth results of the search shows us the two guidelines developed by our team: the Virtual Learning Accessibility Toolkit and the Guideline on Fostering Practices for Disability Inclusion at Higher Education Institutions. The next result of the search shows us a webpage of the Information Technology Services, ITS. This webpage provides practical resources that are created by the Information Technology Services for promoting web accessibility within the university. Mass mails are another quick way to learn about the available resources and support that are available and relatively more specific to university members. Because university members receive many mass mails every day, it is easy to overlook some mails, and our workload might be so heavy that we may not have much time to go through each mail in detail. Therefore, it is suggested to write a concise email title to catch the reader's attention. Keep mass mail content as concise as possible. However, include a text description or transcription of any image content, such as infographics or flyers, to facilitate retrieval by keyword search within the email archive. This is also an important practice to enhance the accessibility of mass mails for assistive technology users or others, such as users without sufficient data or internet bandwidth to download graphics. Self-learning databases and training courses. Sometimes, we may want to engage in self-learning and attend training courses. When selecting databases and training courses, you may consider various factors. The following are several examples: reputation of the organizations and instructors, general or specific accessibility topics, basic or advanced level, duration of the courses, and free of charge, or paid courses. The following are two popular examples of well-known, useful, and free of charge databases for self-learning that you may consider. The Accessibility Fundamentals Overview Database, maintained by the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI. WebAIM, Web Accessibility in Mind, has provided comprehensive web accessibility solutions since 1999. These years of experience have made WebAIM one of the leading providers of web accessibility expertise internationally. WebAIM is a non-profit organization based at the Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice at Utah State University. WebAIM publishes blogs on the latest accessibility topics and articles on a wide range of topics, such as the user's perspective, HTML, ARIA, and CSS accessibility, document and media accessibility, evaluation, testing and tools, standards and laws, and policy, coordination and training. For online training courses, in general, some of them are free of charge, but some are not. Some of them offer a certificate of completion or a digital badge. Please refer to the respective course providers' official websites for further information. The following are some examples of online training courses that you may consider. The first example is the W3C Digital Accessibility Foundation's free online course. This course is provided by the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI, and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, a UNESCO, Institute for Information Technologies in Education. The World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI, also maintains a course list provides information about courses, training, and certification on digital accessibility from different providers from all over the world for you to consider. If you have created any relevant training materials, you may submit the information about your courses, training, and certification on digital accessibility to be listed on this website. The second example is accessibility training by WebAIM. It offers a variety of training options and topics, such as web accessibility virtual training, Zoom accessibility workshops, online document accessibility course, and strategic web accessibility workshops. The third example is accessibility-related learning paths and modules offered by Microsoft. The following are four examples of those learning paths and modules that are related to both accessibility and teaching and learning. First, accessibility, build the foundation for inclusive learning. Second, creating accessible content with Microsoft 365. Next, Microsoft accessibility features and tools. And the last example, use Microsoft accessibility features in education. The next example is self-paced training offered by the International Association of Accessibility Professionals, IAAP, such as the Accessibility Standards for the Design of Public Spaces course, and the Document Accessibility Overview. IAAP also offers a certification program, such as Certified Professional in Accessibility Core Competencies, Certified Accessible Document Specialist, and Certified Web Accessibility Specialist. Another example is the accessibility learning resources hosted by the DAISY Consortium, such as courses about accessible publishing concepts, creating accessible digital audiobooks, and creating accessible EPUB with Word2EPUB. Other examples are the variety of accessibility online training courses available at some massive open online courses platforms. You may use keywords like accessibility and the search engine on these platforms to look for relevant modules. For example, Coursera, edX, and LinkedIn Learning. Actual testing. Basic checking of your teaching materials may help you spot major accessibility issues. It may even give you ideas about the potential modifications, workarounds, or support resources required. A simpler step to start with is to make use of the built-in accessibility checkers in different kinds of authoring tools to fix potential issues. The first example is the built-in accessibility checker in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. To run the built-in checker in Excel, simply go to the Review tab, then select the command, Check Accessibility. The built-in accessibility checker will then can automatically detect and list out some potential inaccessible designs of the documents, such as merged cells in tables and missing alt text, and provide explanations, as well as suggested steps to fix the potentially inaccessible parts. The second example is the built-in accessibility checker in Adobe Acrobat for PDF documents. To perform the accessibility full check using this built-in accessibility checker, go to Tools, Accessibility, Full Check. The Accessibility Checker Options dialog pane opens. After selecting your preferred settings, select Start Checking to begin the accessibility check. The report will then display in the Accessibility Checker panel on the left of the Adobe window. There are in total 32 issues in 6 categories including document, page content, forms, alternate text, tables, lists, and headings. It flags any issues to be fixed or items that require manual inspection. You may select any item and right-click to further select Explain. The Explain command will link to the Adobe web page, showing the detailed explanation and instructions of how to fix that inaccessibility item. Go through each potential problematic item and fix it. The next example is the built-in accessibility checker in Qualtrics. This checker can automatically detect some potential inaccessible designs of the survey and provide suggestions for fixing the potentially problematic areas. To run this checker in Qualtrics, go to Survey, Tools, Review, check Survey Accessibility. The Accessibility WCAG section will list out some potential accessibility issues in the survey design and suggested solutions. You are encouraged to refer to other modules in this self-learning series on the use of the built-in accessibility checker in the respective authoring tools in greater detail. When using the checkers, it is important to note that passing the check does not necessarily guarantee full accessibility, but failing the check would mean there are some inaccessible features that needs to be addressed. In addition, do not solely rely on the checker for accessible materials. Be aware of the limitations of the built-in accessibility checker. For example, the checkers could not tell whether the alt text of a graphical content is meaningful. One of the limitations of these built-in accessibility checkers is that they cannot tell whether the reading order is logical. Manual checking is required and essential. Therefore, it is good that we do a basic check of whether the reading order of teaching and learning materials accessed by different methods is logical, as intended, and compatible. Check the visual display order. Check the reading order of assistive technologies, such as screen readers. Check the keyboard navigation order accessed by keyboard users, such as the Tab key, Shift key, and the arrow keys. It is expected that your experience would not necessarily be the same as those of regular and experienced users of assistive technologies. However, such testing will help you spot major accessibility issues in your materials, such as improper reading order of the document content, missing alternative text for graphics, or an improper heading structure. This will help you figure out the potential modifications required or give you ideas about the appropriate methods to use to look for additional support resources or solutions. To know more about screen readers, we highly encourage you to go to the video on the introduction to reading Word documents and PDF documents using screen readers in this self-learning series. Local community resources. Our local community has rich resources, which may foster community engagement through community institutional partnerships. Examples of services are as follows: audio description services, digital accessibility consultation services, such as websites and applications, sign language interpretation services, talking books, Braille ebooks, and Braille transcription services, and user experience consultations. Take digital accessibility testing services as an example. These services can be very useful support resources for developers and researchers creating educational programs and tools. They can save time and minimize the difficulty of fixing accessibility issues after programs and tools are launched. The following is a list of examples of local community organizations providing services related to digital accessibility and educational materials, arranged in alphabetical order. The services covered here do not represent the most updated or the full range of the services of any of these organizations. Please contact the appropriate organization for their latest availability and other details of their services. Audio Description Association, Hong Kong. Barrier Free Access, HK, Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Hong Kong Society for the Blind. Barrier Free Access, HK, Limited provides web and application accessibility consultancy services to help local enterprises and organizations adopt accessibility design in their websites and mobile applications. Centralized Braille Production Center, the Hong Kong Society for the Blind. This organization provides Braille transcription services, such as textbooks for university students with visual impairments, reference reading materials, examination papers, Braille ebooks, and Braille audio ebooks. It maintains a Braille e-book reservation system. Digital Accessibility Consultation Service by GATE, Hong Kong Blind Union. This organization's Digital Accessibility Consultation Service provides accessibility testing, consultation, and training on website and mobile applications construction. The accessibility testing is conducted by experienced testers using automatic testing software, and by manual testing using different screen readers and screen magnification software in a systematic way with reference to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG. An assessment report with suggestions for improvement will be provided. Hong Kong Sign Language Association. This organization provides website accessibility testing by deaf or hard of hearing individuals. Information Accessibility Center of the Hong Kong Society for the Blind. Audio description services for the visually impaired. SLCO Community Resources. This organization provides a sign language interpretation service and a subtitle production and video recorded Hong Kong Sign Language video production service for videos and audio materials in Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. The Information Accessibility Center, the Hong Kong Society for the Blind. This organization provides library services for people with visual impairments. Its recording studio produces audio books and periodicals. Concluding remarks. As a summary, this video briefly shares practical tips for finding relevant support resources for accessibility practices or solutions to inaccessible virtual teaching and learning tools. We hope this brief introduction will help you select appropriate methods that match your needs and situations. The final question here is, which method is the best? There may not be any best method. Different methods can work together. We also need to consider each context, our own needs, and resource availability. Disclaimer.
This video does not contain any business promotion elements. Software, programs, and operating systems are constantly and rapidly developing along with changing accessibility functions. Statements in this video about the functions of any software, programs, and operating systems may no longer represent the current status. The recommended practices in this video are not exhaustive or the best solutions for each situation. It is possible that the hyperlinks of the cited resources in this video might be edited or removed by the corresponding contributor after publication of this video.
Acknowledgement. This project is funded by the UGC Special Grant for Strategic Development of Virtual Teaching and Learning. The first author, Gloria Ma, would like to acknowledge the support of the postdoctoral fellowship scheme offered by the Research Grants Council of Hong Kong. This work is licensed under Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike 4.0 International. To cite this video, please follow the suggested citation on screen now. You may also refer to the text version of the suggested citation below the video player on the web page. For more guidelines on creating accessible digital educational materials and virtual learning environments, please refer to our Virtual Learning Accessibility Toolkit at https://vlaccessibilitytoolkit.hku.hk or download the full text in PDF from HKU Data Repository. You may scan the QR code on screen now to visit the database. You may also download the set of cheat sheets for quick reference and sharing. You are highly encouraged to watch the other videos in this Idea Leaders Self-Learning series to enrich the knowledge of the basic concepts, practical tips, and resources of enhancing the accessibility of virtual teaching and learning. Here comes to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Let's begin our journey towards co-creating accessible virtual teaching and learning.